Okay, I want to make a video to address the carbon buildup on the intake valves on the 3.5 Ecoboost motors. Okay, look, I'm tired of reading all these arguments online, listening to all these videos, all this bickering, all this crazy stuff, okay? Look, they're GDI engines, okay? And if you only have if you have dual injection, a setup like they have on the newer F-150s, you don't have to worry about cleaning them. The truck cleans it itself. But if you have an older one, you have to worry about it. You do have to clean them or it will cause buildup and you will get misfires. So everybody's arguing on what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to clean them? Because Ford has said do not clean them. It will burn out your turbos if you use something such as Seafoam Spray GDI cleaner or if you use CRC GDI cleaner. The only other option, everybody says, is take the intake off or pay somebody to walnut blast it. Look, I'm going to share my personal experience with you. Okay, the reason why Ford tells you not to use these products is like Seafoam Spray. It has to be administered at a higher RPM, okay? Your turbos on these Ecoboost motors, the turbos are so close to the exhaust manifold, they get ridiculously hot. It's crazy. So the thing is, when you're administering a spray like this, you have to administer it at a higher RPM. So there, your exhaust is already hotter, your turbo is already hotter. Then on top of that, the truck is not moving. And then on top of that, you're dumping excess fuel into the intake. I know this isn't fuel, but it has oil in it, petroleum. It burns, so we're just going to call it fuel. So when you add all that together, that's what causes the turbos to overheat and burn out seals and all kinds of crazy stuff. But you do still have to clean these motors. And I'm going to share my personal experience with you. I have used this on my 3.5, and I'm still driving it. I've put over 30,000 miles on it since I've done it without a problem. I'm going to tell you how I did it. What you got to do, get a box fan, or get two. What I did is I did it on a cold day with the motor not even fully warmed up. I only let it run for about 5 minutes because I'm not going to rev my motor when it's cold, of course. But I let it warm up for about 5 minutes. I got a box fan. I put it underneath the truck to help keep the turbos cool. And you're supposed to administer this at higher RPM so that way you don't foul your spark plugs. I did a tune-up right after I did this because my truck needed a tune-up. I put new racing coils and plugs. So what I did is I administered this at idle speed. So that way it wouldn't overheat the turbos. And I had a fan going. So after I administered the whole can into the intake, I let the motor cool off. And while I let it cool off, I cleaned all of my sensors. And what I mean by cool off, I was letting the product hot soak. So let me correct myself. I don't have to deal with negative comments, okay? I was letting it hot soak. While I waited for it to hot soak, I went ahead and I cleaned all my sensors, my boost sensor, my map sensor, my MAF sensor. After I got all that stuff taken care of, I started the truck up, okay? I took it for a drive, and it's been good ever since. And this cleaned all of the carbon off the valves. Well, not all of it. You're not going to get all of it, of course, but it cleaned the majority of it off from the first 100,000 miles of owning the truck. I only run 93 octane in my truck, so I don't have to put fuel additives in or anything like that. In my personal opinion, if you have a turbo motor or a twin turbo motor, you should run nothing but high octane fuel. It makes a big boost difference, big performance difference, big efficiency difference, and especially with these Ecoboost motors, when you run the higher octane fuel, it helps keep the intake valves clean. So, I mean, even Ford Tech Make You Loco, he's talked about that on his channel. Higher quality fuel will help keep those valves clean. So anyways, back to the point. This really did help clean the intake valves on my motor. I didn't stick a camera down in there, but I know it worked. I could see everything coming out the exhaust. You're going to say, oh, well, it's the petroleum. No, I could tell the difference in how my truck was running. This product does work. I've used it on 5.4 Tritons, too, to get the plugs out without breaking them. That may have been luck, knock on wood, but I got them out, okay? So I'm just saying, this product does work, and there are ways you can administer it to your 3.5 without causing damage if you know what you're doing. Like I said, you don't want to, if you're not going to change your plugs, you don't want to put this in at idle. It might foul your plugs. I changed my plugs right afterwards, so it wasn't a big deal. So you're saying, oh, I said my truck ran better afterwards, and you're probably going to think, oh, well, you changed your plug. That's why it ran better. Okay, even after I changed the plugs, because I did it once before to see if that would resolve the problem before I did this, because I put factory plugs in, then I switched to the racing plugs and coils, like, I think 300 miles later when I did this, it was still idling a little shaky. This took care of that. Everybody says, oh, drill a weep hole in your intercooler. That's the problem. That's why the Ecoboost motors shudder at idle. No, the problem is the carbon buildup on the valves. So don't let anybody tell you anything different. Yeah, that oil and that water in your intercooler is not good for the motor. It coats your sensors, and that can cause issues. But the problem with the rough idle is carbon on the intake valves. So I hope this helps some of y'all out there. Like I said, great product. I recommend it.